Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now I know I haven't uploaded in a while and that's because I've been working and I've been trying to just find time that I can upload and make videos, so that time is now. My upload schedule is pretty sporadic because of that, so I hope you can all understand that. But I noticed I reached 100 subscribers recently-ish, and I never did anything to celebrate, so I thought this would be a really fun and silly way of celebrating that. Now you might be wondering what this book is. It's actually my first ever diary that I kept as a child. It's covered with very tasteful, timeless, classic emoji stickers. It's really gorgeous and it's absolutely not cringy at all. So, and this book is really cute. It's really small. I bought it on holiday in Malta. I think it's from Accessorize, if you'll remember that shop. I don't know if they're still open anymore, or if they are. I've not been in one in a long time. But Accessorize and like Claire's used to be my girls. Like they were it. They were the Sephora of their time. Now 9-year-olds are like going into Sephora and stuff, but those shops were tea. Anyway. But I thought it would be a really fun idea to kind of go through my diary, find some old drawings, and recreate them with my current skill level. For those of you who don't know, I am a recent fine art graduate, so I have a degree in fine art. So hopefully my skill is a bit better than it was at age 9, prior to any training. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what I can kind of make into a finalized piece, because with my diary, as you'll see, I used to do a lot of doodling, and it's really where my love of art kind of started, I would say. I was drawing before this, but I started drawing consistently alongside my diary because I was writing in it pretty consistently. Anyway, enough rambling. On this first page, you can see I wrote my name in my gorgeously neat handwriting. Honestly, I'm mocking it, but this handwriting is a lot neater than my current handwriting, which is, yeah, anyway. That's the age that I was when I started it, 9 years old. I had a lipstick kiss in probably black Claire's lipstick. For the girls who remember Claire's, that was iconic. Again, the Sephora of its time. 2011, which is the year that I started it, and let's get into it. So I've got a little message for myself, which is quite sweet actually reading it now. Hi Stella, hello, 9-year-old me. And then I have the date. There is going to be a lot of spelling mistakes because again I was 9 years old, but also I'm pretty sure I am dyslexic. I struggle with reading and writing, and I also struggle with the numbers. I say numbers wrong, I mix up the numbers in my head. I say certain numbers wrong and things like that. I read a lot now though because like I mentioned my job, I work as a librarian, so reading is quite big in my life. I've always liked reading, but I read the most now that I ever have. That kind of helps with my spelling, but yeah, there'll be a lot of spelling mistakes. I'm still pretty bad at spelling. I would like to think I've improved though, so there'll be certain things spelt wrong. I'll pick up on some of them. I genuinely might not pick up on others, but there will be a lot of spelling mistakes. So again, I'm pretty sure it's because I have a problem with that. But anyway, Monday 8th of August, 3:45 a.m. Oh, we love how specific that is, slay. In the hotel in Malta. Now I can see that that's spelled wrong. Malta's spelled with an A. Hi, I am in Malta. I love it. But I'm really missing, and then I've blanked these out because obviously these are people's names, and I need to not show certain things because it is pretty personal. So they're my friends and stuff like that I've blanked out. But I was really missing my friends, is what we need to know from 9-year-old me. Okay. 4:11. I'm gonna assume that that's PM and I just didn't write that. In hotel. I am going to go swimming later, but Joe won't go swimming. He is a sissy. That's so mean. Why was I being so mean? For those of you who don't know, Joe's my older brother. He's older than me by 2 years. So I'm calling my older brother a sissy, which is not nice. I don't know why I was hating on him in my diary. He might have done something to annoy me, but what's more likely is that I was being an annoying little sister and I was annoying him, and he quite rightly probably told me to leave. or like calm down and leave him alone. So I got butthurt about that and then wrote about it in my diary. So sorry, Joe, that was it was probably rough growing up with a sister like me. I apologise. In cafe night 509, again, I'm gonna assume that that's PM because we're probably having like tea or something together as a family. I'm in a cafe, again, cafe spelled wrong, called Star Cafe. I had a thing as well where I constantly put an E at the end of certain like words. I think from what I vaguely remember, we had a lesson in primary school where like we were, you know, writing like an English lesson, and the teachers were like teaching us how to spell a certain word, and they like said like, oh, it has an E on the end, and then for some reason I was like, oh, every word I'm not sure about spelling must have an E on the end. Like those seem like pretty good odds. So I just added E on the ends of words that didn't need them, and therefore I was spelling them wrong. Again, that's I'm not very good at spelling. I'm pretty good at like creative writing. I always used to get fairly decent. I got like mid grades in English because I was really good at the creative writing. I was really good at the reading. I just couldn't spell, and my grammar was a little bit off, but my grammar was stronger because I used to read a lot. But yeah, spelling I struggled with. Anyway, they have they have crepes. I meant to put crepes, like, but I obviously spelled it wrong and put craps. That's amazing. I love that. There's moments where, you know, your hindrances to some where you can't spell turn into beautiful, happy little accidents. And that is one of them. So let's enjoy that together. Thank you, past me. That gave me a much needed giggle. Anyway, they have craps. But my dad says that I say it really poshly. That's not a word. Poshly, if that is even a word. Okay, so I spelled even with an I. And word wrong. Oh, this is a cute page. I actually have looked through this. I think this page is really cute because it really does remind me of the holiday that we had in Malta when I was writing this. So, in hotel, 9:13. I'm not sure whether that's AM or PM. No idea. Well, it's the same day, so I'd assume maybe PM, because I didn't put another date. Because that's what I used to do. I used to write the time because I used to like write in my diary at different occasions. Like every time I had free time or I was bored or like sat down. So I'd put the separate time to know that it was like a different log, if that makes sense. Which is actually kind of smart. I like that. I'm watching Batman. It's not bad, but it is a bit annoying when you have seen it before. My dad and my brother used to watch Batman a lot because it was what they were into, which is really cute. But that also meant to say that like a lot of the time I saw it because I was in the room with them, because obviously my dad had to keep an eye on me. So I just like watched it a lot of times. But it's bold of me complaining because I used to watch the same like 5 films again and again as well. They were just like, you know, more quote-unquote girly things like princesses or like slightly younger things that I was into, but anyway. So I was slagging it off and then I just put that it was cool. If you think that this is a really good drawing, that's because it's not mine, it's my dad's. I didn't put that, but I can tell from the style and how like, you know, clean it is and good it is. I did not make this age 9. I might have helped him, I might have done like, no, I think he did the colouring in because again it's inside the lines and whatever. I might be wrong. He doodles some really cute things. I love how he draws people, they're really like funny. They have a good way. I know for a fact I drew the hands though. Can you see the arms? Or lack there of hands? Because I used to do that because I couldn't draw hands and they were like wonky and it looks like he's like putting them behind his back. I'd argue maybe that ruins the drawing a bit, but my dad's very sweet and very patient, so he didn't care. But that is a really cute drawing. My dad still doodles and he does a bit of art. I've recently got him drawing on his iPad because I do a lot of like digital art on my iPad, so I taught him a little bit how to use that. But he's been getting back into his art because he's retired now, so that's really cute to see. I am tempted to redraw this because it makes me smile. It's a really cute doodle, but it's not my drawing, so maybe one day if you guys would like to see that, let me know. And I put my favourite word, lol, so that you can tell how much I liked it. That really dates it. I love it so much, it's so goofy. But yeah, I'm not going to redraw this one today because again, it's not my drawing, but if you would like to see that, or if you would like to see me do like some collaborative work with my dad, like art-wise, that'd be really fun, so let me know. We have got to a new day, Tuesday the 9th of August. I struggled spelling August there, and I'm 95% sure that is still not spelled right. Again, pretty sure I'm dyslexic even now, so hard to say. In hotel room, 8:20 a.m. There has been riots in London. Oh my god. Okay, this is getting heavy. Wow. Okay. We were probably watching the news and we weren't in a hotel when we went to Malta. I think we were in someone's apartment that they, you know, like rented out, kind of like Airbnb. I don't know if Airbnb was a thing at that time, but it, you know, akin to that. We were renting out someone's apartment like whilst they were away, so that's what it was. So they had a TV and we were probably watching the news and I probably saw it and my 9-year-old brain was trying to make sense of violence essentially, so I guess I wrote it in my diary. That's weird to say, but there's been riots in London last night, which is bad because I'm going. As I'm trying to make sense of this, you know, horrible thing that's happened, I don't think I've yet developed empathy, so I'm making sense of it through my own experiences, which I guess is kind of normal for that age, but reading it back is kind of like, you know, we should be more worried about the people who were directly affected still, maybe. Like, you're fine, you're miles away. And then we've gotten to this page, which, again, I flipped through this previously, so I think this is the one that I'm going to redraw, but let's read it. For any of you wondering as well, that's me attempting to spell the word awesome. So, I tried, you know, I tried. So previously I was talking about, I don't want to show this previous page because again, it includes like a lot of personal information, personal thoughts, feelings, and like other people, like a lot of my like, you know, primary school friends and stuff and names. So I don't want to like show that because again, very personal information. But I was talking about me and my best friend at the time, she's really sweet, being superheroes together. Because I used to like make up stories and stuff in my head. I was a very like creative, people would say, child. I was away with the fairies a lot, which is probably why I grew up into be an artist. But I always used to imagine us two as like superheroes. It was just a way of me kind of like dealing with some of the problems I had at the time, which I think is fairly normal at that age. I thought, I'm not a tomboy, by the way. I do like superheroes, but only a bit. I had this weird thing of almost looking back, like performing more as like a feminine girly girl than I actually like was-ish. I did like girly things. I mean, it's so stupid to like gender things like that because like they're not gendered, they're just things and hobbies. And I still like, you know, like makeup, fashion, things like that, things that, you know, society deems as like feminine or whatever. But because I knew that I wasn't straight even at the age of 9, like I knew when people were describing like their relationships with like boys and having crushes on boys, I felt that way too, but I also knew I felt that way with like some of the girls that I like were in my life, to whatever extent that you kind of can at the age of 9. So in the back of my head I always knew that I wasn't like straight, if that made sense, but like I didn't know it that consciously because again I was 9 years old. So I did this thing where I used to kind of like try my best to not act too much like a man, because I had this really like naive view that like if I was a gay woman I would be like more manly. I'd be more of a tomboy, because that was my only like exposure to queer women at the time, was like through TV shows that my dad would watch, and it would be like some butch lesbian in like jeans and short hair, and I would be like, well, I can't be gay and I can't be attracted to women because I also like boys and I'm also not, I don't identify like that, I don't dress like that, I don't look like that, I don't act like that. Yeah, it was the early stages of me kind of like denying things like that and trying to make sense of it, because like where I live in the middle of nowhere. There's not many people in my family or like my immediate family that are gay. There's no one. So like it was just, I was just trying to figure that out. Anyway, we suddenly took a heavy turn, but I thought it's an interesting thing reading it back, like knowing what I do now, because I identify as like a bisexual, non-binary kind of like person. We're still figuring it out. I've got my whole life anyway. So yeah, that, I do remember the feelings that I felt when I wrote that down. And yeah, it makes me feel a little bit I don't know, it makes me feel nostalgic in a weird way, and it reminds me of kind of like the stuff that I was going through. Moving on to a happier note, me and my friend dressed up as superheroes. I think I'm gonna recreate this little doodle right here. I mean, that's my friend, that's me. You can see I annotated it, and I think it'd be really fun to draw myself now as a superhero and kind of come up with, like, you know, maybe what my power would be and things like that. So let's get started. So here I am starting my sketch. I always like to sketch in my sketchbook initially because, I don't know, I find that if I sketch digitally on my iPad, the sketches like never come out right. They always look flat or warped or something. I think it's something to do with kind of like what I'm used to. I remember my dad always used to bring home copy paper from work. He used to, you know, take it from the printers from his office, and that's kind of how I got started drawing initially when I was younger. I think that's just kind of what I'm used to, so if I don't draw on anything other than like actual paper, it feels weird, and therefore I feel like I can't draw properly. I don't know, is anyone else like that? Because apparently this is what I'm like. Oh, and I also, I drew myself with long hair because I kind of thought that it would look kind of cool if I was flying, because I thought my superhero would have like flying powers. I thought that would be really cool. But then I decided to just give myself my regular haircut, which is, I have like a short bob, so I just went with that because it felt more like me, because that's my actual hair. I can tell you a bit of the lore on the superhero that I decided to come up with. I named her Stella Star because that's what my family calls me. It's a little nickname that we have. And fun fact, Stella actually means star in Latin, and that's the reason why my parents decided to name me Stella. They also just like the name. I think it's quite a nice name. I actually quite like my first name. I think it's one of those names that like actually has suited me growing up very well. Like it suited me as a kid. It's a very cute name, but then as I get older, I feel like it matures along with me, you know? So I'm very lucky that I actually like the name that my parents gave me. But for the concept of the superhero character, I have already previously mentioned that I think she would fly, because I think that's pretty fucking sick. Personally, I think she would control stars through the power of emotions and memories, because I have always been told, and I've kind of always thought, that I'm quite an emotional person. I'm very introspective. Maybe it's the artist side of me, who knows? And when fighting, the stars would feed her powers. She's an alien born under a rare stellar alignment, giving her the capacity to manipulate the galaxy, and this would kind of feed her powers. So her powers are kind of linked to the galaxy. I don't know, it's my way of kind of like adding it to her namesake star, you know. Her role is to rearrange the emotional battlefield on the cosmos. So I kind of have this concept and like loose idea of her, you know, kind of being this like magnificent alien superhero, kind of fighting people's kind of like inner demons in the like galaxy, and like the stars feeding her powers. I don't know, it's a fun little concept. Does it make any sense? No, but I think it makes for a really cool a cool superhero design, and it's a cool character design, which it did. And I used a lot of purples because my hair's dyed purple, so I thought that'd be kind of cool. And again, it leans into like the kind of galaxy magnificent kind of aesthetic of it. If she suppresses her emotions, her powers weaken, and she's seen as odd among her own kind because she's emotional. And I feel like I kind of always felt like that as a kid. So yeah. But overall, I actually really like how this drawing and design turned out. I think it has kind of like a cool DC, Marvel design and feel to it illustratively, which is what I was going for. So I'm very happy with that, and I think she looks very cool. And I hope you all like her as much as me. This was a very fun video to do. Thank you for 100 subscribers again, and take care. Hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye.